Social Security Administration admits it makes $8 billion a year in improper payments. It's mind-boggling. The WCPO 9i team is investigating the impact of Social Security fraud.
Well, tonight, Chief Investigative Reporter Craig Cheatham examines what happens when the SSA pays too much in benefits and how it hurt a retired Cincinnati woman.
I just don't understand it.
Margaret Fitzwater says the paper trail in her lap is just a glimpse.
This is crazy.
Of what happened to her after the Social Security Administration claimed it paid her too much in monthly benefits.
And they want to come after me for $30-something thousand that I'm not even sure I owe.
This 69-year-old grandmother of 6 told the WCPO 9i team the SSA has violated her right to due process by withholding $804 from her monthly Social Security benefits, roughly a third of her payment, without determining if she qualified for a waiver, which would allow her to not repay the money.
You know, I go to bed at night worrying about it.
Fitzwater says she worked a combined 37 years for Cincinnati Gas and Electric and the United States Postal Service. She says she developed permanent work-related injuries and receives $3,700 a month in workers' compensation. In March 2011, SSA told Fitzwater it had overpaid her $4,345 in benefits due to not including her workers' comp payments. A month later, SSA confirmed she had paid it all back.
I assume when I paid the money back in the very beginning that they had it all figured out.
In April 2013, Fitzwater's records show SSA told her it owed her money. A year later, the agency told Fitzwater it had actually paid her $27,000 too much in benefits, again because of unreported workers' comp payments received by Fitzwater.
I feel like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing.
In 2016, the SSA told Fitzwater the overpayments now totaled $35,770. Fitzwater's records show she waited 53 months to get her case heard by an administrative judge.
It's been a nightmare trying to get someone to help me.
The administrative judge finally ruled on her case in December 2018 and determined Fitzwater still owed $30,768. The judge did not rule on her request for a waiver on paying back the excess benefits that she had received.
It's a bureaucracy. Probably the world's biggest bureaucracy.
Cincinnati attorney James Williams is not Fitzwater's lawyer, and we didn't discuss her case with him. He represents people like her who appeal SSA's denial of benefits. Before that, he was an attorney with SSA's Office of Hearings and Appeals.
They want to do a good job. Part of the problem is I don't think they have enough personnel to do the good job.
They say they're understaffed and they're sorry, and that doesn't help me.
Fitzwater's complaints, which include alleged mistakes by SSA staff, having her benefits withheld without due process, and a long delay to have her case heard by a judge, are all identified as systemic problems in SSA in an audit by the SSA Office of the Inspector General, which was published last November. The same audit says the SSA estimates that it made $8.2 billion in improper payments in 2018.
It does. It upsets me very much. Very much.
Fitzwater's SSA records show she'll resume receiving her full Social Security benefits in August 2022.
I just want it all to end. I want what I worked my whole life for, you know? That's all I'm asking.
An SSA spokesman said privacy laws do not allow the agency to comment on Fitzwater's case. But Fitzwater's SSA records show the agency determined she was responsible providing updated information to the agency and didn't, which resulted in her being overpaid. Tanya?
There are 56 million Americans receiving Social Security right now, so you'd expect some accounting mistakes along the way.
Certainly so. However, for one high desert woman, that mistake could cost her her livelihood.
Yeah, CBS 2 investigative reporter Christine Lazar joins us now to explain. Christine.
Susie and Jeff, last month we told you that Social Security does have a problem with overpayment, and it becomes your problem when they send you a letter and demand that you pay them back immediately.
There's no way. I mean, there's no way I owe them that much money.
$48,000. That's how much the Social Security Administration wants 66-year-old Betty Ham to pay them back in 30 days. What did you think when you opened that letter and saw the figure $48,000?
I just blew my mind. I mean, there's no way in heck I could come up with that kind of money unless I sold my house.
Ham is another victim of Social Security overpayments. Two on Your Side told you last month that the agency reported more than $1 billion in overpayments in 2016. Ham saw that story and asked for our help. Back in February, she got this letter from the agency stating that they overpaid her for 2.5 years of her disability to the tune of $48,831, the entire amount of disability she received. Christy Bailey is Ham's daughter. What do you think of the fact that it took them 3 years to recognize this mistake?
I think that's ridiculous. It shouldn't take that long for somebody to find a mistake.
In the letter, the agency claims the money she received wasn't payable because Ham was doing substantial work. But Ham says that substantial work is a few days a week as a cashier at an Ontario car wash.
Right now I'm making probably $238 every week.
Money she says she needs to pay her bills because she only gets about $1,200 a month from Social Security. Ham says she always believed she was making below the threshold of what she was allowed to make in supplemental income.
They don't give me enough money to survive, and I don't see how most people can. I don't have my house paid off.
To add insult to injury, in the letter from the agency, it specifically says they will not collect the overpayment while they decide if they can waive collection. And yet just 1 week after Ham filed a request for reconsideration, her Social Security payments stopped. She hasn't received 2 months of payments.
So far, and I've got another one coming up on the 18th. If I don't get it then, that will be 3 months.
The letter also states that her Medicare benefits won't be affected, and yet this is the premium bill she received last month. She is now paying that out of pocket.
I'll take any help I could possibly get because I cannot do this for much longer.
And an update to that overpayment story we brought to you last month after Two on Your Side contacted the Social Security Administration. They wiped the more than $6,000 the Orange County senior was being told she needed to pay back, and they revised her monthly benefits, admitting that they had made a mistake. So, as you can imagine, the Social Security Administration doesn't work very quickly.
Yeah.
So they're still reviewing this current case of the $48,000 that they want this woman to pay back. A supervisor did call her today in response to us contacting them on her behalf.
Oh, good.
They say they're looking at that appeal, and in the meantime, though they had stopped her payments, they're now going to reinstate those until they make a decision.
Wheels starting to turn
Wheels
slowly.
Are very slowly,
Yeah.
very slowly.
But
You
for
gotta
the
have
better.
patience.
Yes, thank you, Christine. All right, we are looking at some cooler weather. We're going to get to that in just a second.
Yeah, Two on Your Side, of course, can help you out. Just email us at twoonyourside@cbs.com with your problem if you have one, or Twitter. Use the hashtag #TwoOnYourSide, and of course, we can see what we can do for you to help solve your problem. Every year, Social Security overpays millions of dollars, but it's not just their problem.
No, as one viewer found out, once Social Security realizes their error, they want you to pay the money back, and fast.
Problem for somebody, and that viewer turned to Two on Your Side for help.
And CBS 2's Christine Lazar joins us now with that. Christine?
Pat and Jeff, you can imagine how shocking that would be to receive a letter like that saying, pay us back now. Telling you not only is your monthly benefit going to be reduced, but you have to pay back sometimes years worth of overpayment.
They wanted to pay $6,340
Within 30 days.
within 30 days.
When John Papillon's 84-year-old mother-in-law opened this letter from Social Security back in February, she was shocked by what she saw.
Oh, I was so upset.
It was a demand for payment for more than $6,000. The letter stated that Gloria Dedios, a widow since 2015, had been overpaid due to a miscalculation by the Social Security Administration of her late husband's benefits. In other words, she needed to pay for their mistake. So in between the letter you received in 2015 after your husband died, and then when you got the letter in 2018, just recently, did you receive any other correspondence correspondence.
Nothing.
The letter went on to say that Dedios had just 30 days to pay the money back, or else Social Security would withhold her full benefit until the debt was collected.
Why did they wait 2.5 years to bring this up? It's their error. Why she has to pay for something that's their mistake?
That's a question Two on Your Side had as well. We contacted a watchdog group called Justice in Aging, and they told us, we know this is not an isolated incident. Thousands of seniors receiving retirement and survivors benefits from SSA get overpayment notices like this each year. In 2016, the agency reported $1.2 billion in overpayments for retirement, survivor, and disability beneficiaries. If Dedios' monthly payments are suspended, she would lose more than half of her monthly income.
I want this to be fixed, and not, I don't want to pay them back.
Two on Your Side contacted the Social Security Administration, and they immediately reached out to Dedios and offered to expedite her appeal. In the meantime, they will not withhold her monthly payment until her case is reviewed. Now, if a person can prove the error was not their own and that they cannot afford to repay the amount owed, Social Security can waive the payment altogether, and that's what the family is hoping will happen in this case. And they have one person now dedicated to their case because of our involvement. Also, what a lot of people don't realize is you can set up a payment plan so that nothing is withheld from you. And you can do a payment plan, I'm told, for as low as like $10 a month.
Oh, that's
so
good.
there are options out there. If you get one of those letters and you open it up, don't freak out. Know that you do have some recourse, but there's a lot of people getting those, and when you live on a fixed income, it's hard.
Would be a shock
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Christine.
Christine,
on the
thank you so
case.
much. Well, can Two on Your Side help you out? Email us at 2onyourside@cbs.com with your problem. On Twitter, use the hashtag 2onyourside, and we'll see what we can do for you to solve your problem.
Hey everyone, what's going on? In the brand new studio, coming to you live. We finally have an easy process to do these live streams. So one of the things I'd love to hear from you in the comments is, do you find these live streams valuable? It gives you a format where you can ask questions and I can give you answers to the extent that I know the answers. So I'd love to hear from you. So if you'd let me know in the comments, that would be fantastic. So the other day, I saw an article, and I've been wanting to do a live stream on this for a while because overpayments is a subject that I talk about pretty often. Maybe not on the channel, but in my blog, you'll often see references to overpayments when I'm talking about the earnings limit, or I'm talking about the windfall elimination provision, or I'm talking about some of these other things. You don't want to run afoul of an overpayment. I've heard of some cases that 3, 4, 5, up to 10 years later, an individual will receive an overpayment notice from the Social Security Administration alleging that they've been overpaid, and those things are almost impossible to unravel. Very, very difficult to figure out what they're even saying in these letters. And I've heard of some cases where people have received 2 letters in the same day, both alleging overpayments, but both letters alleging different amounts of the overpayments. So these things are not easy to unravel at all. And it's almost impossible. You have to send in a letter. You can't talk to someone on the phone, and then you have to wait for their response, and it'll take them up to 90 days to respond. A big mess. But let me tell you, I have never ran into an overpayment like the one that I saw in the article the other day. Let me pull this up on screen. Oh, it's already on screen. Good. So this is Social Security goes after a man over $122 from 48 years ago. Now, it's not the dollar amount that I find notable here, because that's a fairly minuscule amount of money for sure. But the fact is, it was 48 years after they made the overpayment to him. And I find that to be staggering. I've never heard of a case like that. So he was 67 years old, and he decided it was time to file for Social Security. And when he did, he got this nice letter from the Social Security Administration that said, hey, back in 1973, we overpaid you by $122. which is ridiculous. 1973, as he noted in the article when the columnist was asking him about it, that I can't remember what I did last year, much less 1973. So this is effectively a letter that says, hey, pay it. We're not going away. You just need to pay this, or we're going to withhold it from your benefits. We're going to force you to pay it. Now, in this case, he did go to the one of the journalists here contacted the administration, and they dropped it. But when he called, the guy that received the letter called, they told him that no, there is absolutely no statute of limitations on this. If we see an overpayment, we can collect it. So just a quick warning to you guys here. If you're subject to the windfall elimination provision, if you plan to file before full retirement age, so you're 62 all the way up to whatever your full retirement age is, somewhere between 66 and 67, and you're still working at a job, don't ever think you're getting away with it if the Social Security Administration sends you more money than they should. They probably are going to find out about it. A lot of these overpayment cases exist within disability payments. On those, I always say you need to probably get a disability attorney to help you unravel that if they are willing to do that. But overpayments exist for a lot of other things too, like the things we just talked about, the earnings limit, the windfall elimination provision. There's a few other cases as well, you know, if they miscalculated a survivor benefit. And the interesting thing is, while they're really quick to send you an overpayment notice, there's a lot of people out there that's being underpaid, and they're not notifying them when they find out necessarily. And if they do notify them, it's just to increase the benefit and not give them all of those years of back pay. So I would just like to say, if that is your situation, if you're on disability and you don't think you're getting the right amount, or if you're under full retirement age and you still have earnings coming in and you think they may have given you a benefit payment or two too much, or if the windfall elimination provision, if you say, well, I thought this was going to apply to me, but I guess they missed it. They probably didn't. They're going to come back down the road and say you owe them $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. And if you don't pay it, they'll be glad to start withholding it from your benefit. Now, we could talk about what to do if you receive an overpayment notice, but I think that's probably a topic best reserved for another video. With that, though, I do want to get out, I want to answer a few of your questions.
Hi, guys. Working from home, I wanted to talk about something that I've seen over the last 2 days with my Social Security disability practice. For the past 2 days, out of nowhere, I've had former clients, prospects, people who've already been awarded Social Security disability calling me saying, hey, I got this letter saying that I'm being cut off. And it's worse than that. These are people who've received benefits since 2010, 2012, and they're now being told not only are they being cut off, but that they should have never gotten Social Security in the first place. They're being told that there was a math error, some problem with their earnings if they were working part-time, and not only are they getting cut off, they have to pay all of the money that they've received for all of these years back. So people are being hit with these overpayments of $70,000, $90,000, $130,000, and they don't know what to do. Most of these clients, these former clients and these prospects, live off $1,200, $1,800 a month. They're not going to come up with $90,000. So there are a couple of things I just want to hit really quick that you can do to fix this, to protect yourself. First of all, if you get one of these letters, appeal it right away, within 10 days. The letter will tell you that you can wait 60 days to appeal. Don't do that. If you appeal within 10 days, you can ask that your benefits continue while you work on the appeal. This will let you continue to get that vital monthly income while you sort out what Social Security got wrong. Second, whether you appeal or not, ask for a waiver of the overpayment. If the overpayment is not your fault, meaning that you've done everything that you were supposed to do, you told Social Security about any earnings that you had, you've made any reports that were needed, and repaying that overpayment would cause you to not be able to meet your daily needs, or it would just be unfair to you, you can request that waiver of an overpayment and Social Security will likely grant it. That'll take care of the back end, the $70,000, the $90,000, the $130,000 that you owe. It won't help you with the future benefits. So the second thing you need to do is get your claim together. Pull any pay stubs that you have for the past couple of years that they're saying you worked over the limit, pull your tax returns, and run it against the numbers for substantial gainful activity for that year. As long as your math is right, you can put a request for reconsideration together and argue your case. You don't necessarily need an attorney for this, and in fact, it may be really hard for you to find an attorney. The reason for that is you can't hire an attorney on a contingent basis. For you, a good result is going to be you get to keep your benefits. So there's no fund, there's no recovery for an attorney to pull from, so there's no percentage that they can attach to. That means that you would have to hire an attorney on an hourly basis. Okay, let's assume you have $5,000 lying around for a retainer. In Social Security, the administration still has to approve all fees at the end of a case. And they have a very long and very dirty habit of telling attorneys that they haven't actually earned the fee for the work that they've done. So let's say you hire me, you pay me $5,000 and I start billing you by the hour. Well, I've done 30 hours of work on your case, taking your appeal up, doing a hearing, doing research, maybe even hiring a vocational expert, somebody to prove that your earnings were below the amounts that they needed to be. We get to the end of your case, the judge grants the claim, but decides, well, a lot of the attorney's work was administrative, or I don't think it should have taken him 30 hours to do this work, so I'm only going to pay him for 10. That's a real problem. So a lot of attorneys are going to be very hesitant to take these cases. I do take them, I take them selectively, and I take them primarily for the thousands of people who I've already gotten Social Security for. If you have questions about this though, reach out to me. Again, the most important things to do are number one, appeal right away, hit that 10-day window, keep your benefits going. 2, ask for a waiver of any overpayment. And 3, get the substance of your appeal together. I hope this doesn't happen to you, but if it does, don't hesitate to reach out.